Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for January 25th, 2010. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, we want to take a look at the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. Last week we were talking about any technical breakdowns below this 113 area would open the window for a sell-off at minimum to the 111, 112 focal point, which we've removed at this point. But we said it was more important to see whether that would act as support, because anything that's had support there would still leave the window open for further rallying. But we said at that point that if there was any technical damage that was take the market down to the 108 to 109 level on the downside, the window would open for new down legs in the market. We had very dramatic sell-off over a 48-hour span, which has us testing some very critical levels on the downside. It'll be very important to see what the market does at these support levels. More than likely, we are overdue for some sort of a 1 or 2 day retracement. The area that we're going to be paying a lot of attention to is a zone in this 111 to 113 area. If we have all the rally attempts contained within those areas, it opens the window for another wave of selling to come in, which could drop all the way down to that 103 to 104 zone on the downside. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO. And we had an upper focal point in the 22.5 to 23 area, but there are measured moves that did complete moves as high as even the 23 to 24 zone on the upside. Nonetheless, we felt that the rally would end somewhere in that zone. We had a very strong reversal candle come off on Thursday, and then suddenly a very strong sell candle come in on the Friday, which at this point has at least marked some sort of a short-term high in the regional banks. If the whole broader markets are selling, then we should see continued profit taking as the market usually gets sold as a whole basket. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not the regional banks show relative strength versus the broader markets, because it may be an indication at that point that the regional banks may be the place to be in an upswing when the sell cycle has stopped. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is the symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, distiller companies. We were identifying the overhead resistance levels, particularly the previous high that was made around that 109, 110 area on the upside. At this point, we had a 3-day strong reversal. This could still be a retracement on the downside, but with the reversals we're seeing in the broader markets, it's quite possible that we're going to see this sell all the way down to the 98 to 100 zone in the upcoming weeks. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is a symbol RUF, and we had a pretty bullish thrust higher a couple weeks ago, pushing up into that 1050 to 1075 zone, and for a little while it looked like we were flagging in there, had the potential to even bust through that on the upside to retest the previous highs. But then when this week's sell cycles began, we started seeing some pretty dramatic selling coming into the to the Home Builders Index. At this point, this 950 area where it consolidated just a few weeks ago will be critical. If we see any further weakness, a retest of the previous lows and even a break to lower lows is probably in the cards. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is the symbol FUM, and we again saw some rejections occurring at that 113 to 115 zone on the upside. We saw obviously some bullish chart patterns in there, but when the whole market started selling, we saw the sell cycle begin right in here. This is going to be a critical level right around this 105 level, because any technical breakdowns below there will give us some indications that the current uptrend in place will at least have stalled, and we're probably looking far more range-bound markets. And if we're looking at a range-bound natural gas market in terms of the underlying stocks, and retesting to the 94 to 96 would be very natural. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is a symbol UKX. And once that pivot broke around that 545 level, the window opened immediately for a sell cycle. We were looking for support to come in around the 535, 540 area, which is the bottom end of the retracement zone, as well as the previous highs in November and December. At this point, we sold right through that level on the downside. That rules out this being a retracement, which at this point, we're looking for a bigger sell cycle. With all of the markets and all the indices we're looking at, if this is the beginning of a corrective wave, then we are still very early in it. And that even though I don't want to make bold predictions as how deep or how far this will go, but from a duration perspective, it would be very natural for this market consolidation at minimum last 3-4 weeks, but more than likely even a couple months in terms of a market consolidations before a really good buying opportunity will come. So at this stage, it's important for investors to be a little bit patient, let all of the selling kind of first stabilize and find some bottoms, and at that point we'll be looking for the really good buying opportunities. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.